Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on a cozy, deeply reflective exploration of a truly remarkable 15th century spiritual text. We're looking at a Hukamnama, which is a divine command or daily guidance from Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the holy scripture of Sikhism. Specifically, we're diving into the timeless wisdom of Bhagat Ravi Daas Ji. I am so absolutely thrilled to share this with you, because even though it was written centuries ago, the insights we're about to unpack feel like they were written directly for our modern, fast-paced lives. So, let's just dive right in.
I want to start off by asking you a question that might hit a little close to home. How often do you feel this immense pressure to present an absolutely perfect version of yourself to the world? Whether you're a young professional trying to nail a massive presentation, someone navigating a new relationship, or really just trying to keep up with the totally impossible standards of modern life, we are constantly trying to curate a flawless image. We want to offer the world, and maybe even the divine, something entirely unblemished. But what if this whole idea of a perfect offering is completely missing the point?
Take a look at this striking, almost paradoxical quote from Bhagat Ravi Daas Ji. He writes, "The calf has contaminated the milk in the teats, the bumblebee has contaminated the flower, and the fish the water." Now, at first glance, that might sound a little confusing, right? Like, why on earth are we talking about contaminated milk and flowers in a sacred spiritual text? Well, this is exactly the beautiful mystery we're going to unravel together today. It totally challenges our very definition of what is pure and what is actually worthy.
Section 1. The Illusion of Perfection, Nature's Reality. To really understand this mystery, we first need to take a hard look at our modern relationship with perfection.
It's honestly fascinating how this ancient poetry perfectly mirrors modern burnout and our relentless obsession with flawless presentation. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need to be pristine, completely untouched by failure, and perfectly polished before we can be of any real value. In the text, the author expresses this deep, vulnerable anxiety that I think we can all relate to. He asks, "O Mother, where shall I find any offering for the Lord's worship? I cannot find any other flowers worthy of the incomparable Lord." Have you ever felt that way? That nagging imposter syndrome whispering that what you have to offer, your work, your time, your true self, just simply isn't good enough? Bhagat Ravi Daas Ji is voicing this universal human fear right here on the page.
Let's break down the charming nature imagery used to address this anxiety. Look at how these resources map directly to the creatures. The milk is already claimed by the calf. The flower's nectar is already touched by the bumblebee. The water is already lived in by the fish. Bhagat Ravi Daas Ji is brilliantly illustrating that everything in the physical world is inherently shared, used, and totally interconnected. There is literally no such thing as an isolated, untouched, perfect object in nature.
Section 2. Nature's Prior Claim. Messy Connection. You see, the natural world doesn't operate on the concept of pristine isolation.
Instead, it operates on this messy, beautiful connection. Everything is already part of an ecosystem. So the idea that we can find something entirely pure and untouched to offer up as a perfect gift, it's fundamentally flawed, because life has already laid claim to it. And this next line brilliantly illustrates that point even further. The snakes encircle the sandalwood trees. Poison and nectar dwell there together. What an incredibly vivid image. Sandalwood is prized for its sweet, calming fragrance, right? Yet it's surrounded by venomous snakes. The real world is messy. Sweetness and danger, joy and sorrow, success and failure, they all just exist side by side. You simply cannot extract the perfectly pure nectar without acknowledging the poison.
So the absolute crucial point here is that trying to extract something perfectly flawless from a beautifully messy world is an impossible task. Flawless perfection is just an illusion. The physical world is inherently shared, and we cannot control or artificially purify nature to meet some impossible standard. When we demand perfection from ourselves in our daily grinds and careers, we're literally fighting against the very nature of reality itself.
Section 3. Empty rituals versus true devotion. Okay. So if perfection is impossible, then what exactly are we supposed to do?
Well, this leads us to a really powerful contrast between what we think we're supposed to do to prove our worth versus what actually matters. A lot of the time, when we feel inadequate, we compensate by performing. We create these elaborate rituals of productivity or spirituality just to mask our insecurities. The text mentions these traditional items: incense, lamps, offerings of food, and fragrant flowers. These were the performative rituals of the time. But let's bring this into our modern daily lives. What are our incense and lamps today? They're the shiny things we use to prove our worth. It's working 14-hour days to look dedicated, or maybe meticulously curating a long, humble bragging professional update online about how honored we are just to appear successful. We rely on these external offerings to say, hey, look at me, I am worthy.
This builds right into one of the most profound questions of the text. Bhagat Ravi Daas ji asks, even with incense, lamps, offerings of food and fragrant flowers, how are your slaves to worship you? I want you to just pause for a second and really reflect on this. If everything physical is already claimed, imperfect, or just an empty performative gesture, how do we authentically show up? If our standard metrics of success and perfection are flawed, what is the right way to present ourselves to the world and to the divine?
Notice the dramatic shift we're looking at here. We have the material offerings, those external things we constantly stress over making perfect, contrasted right against the true offering, the body and mind. This is a massive paradigm shift. It takes us away from stressing over external, performative perfection and pushes us toward embracing a deep internal surrender. It's moving from, what perfect thing can I give, to, how honestly can I just give myself?
Section 4. The ultimate spiritual offering. Surrender. We've totally dismantled the illusion of material perfection. So what is left?
What is the absolute ultimate offering that we can make? Let's look at how this builds into a highly practical, modern-day approach to letting go of the heavy burden of perfection. It's basically a three-step journey. Step 1, we recognize that material perfection is impossible because the world is wonderfully messy. Step 2, we let go of all those exhausting, performative rituals we use to prove our worth. And step 3, we offer the only thing we truly have, our authentic, unvarnished selves, our mind and our body.
And here is the truly liberating climax of Bhagat Ravi Daas ji's wisdom. I dedicate and offer my body and mind to you. By Guru's grace, I attain the immaculate Lord. Since you cannot offer perfect material things because they frankly don't exist, the only true offering is your whole, authentic, messy self. You don't need to curate a flawless version of yourself to be accepted. You just need to be entirely you.
Now, you might be wondering about that phrase, Guru's grace. This is a central concept here. It represents the divine wisdom and blessing that allows us to finally realize this truth. It's the grace that literally gives us permission to drop our ego's exhausting pursuit of perfection and connect authentically with the divine and honestly with the world around us. It's through this grace and genuine vulnerability, not through working ourselves to the bone or performing shiny rituals, that we find true grounding and real peace.
For all the young professionals out there navigating these high-pressure environments, this is your warm reminder. Stop trying to impress the universe with an illusion. Just bring your honest self. Showing up with your whole mind and body, with all your quirks, your past experiences, your unique insights, and yes, even your flaws, is the absolute most worthy, perfect offering you can ever make. Your authenticity is just so much more valuable than any manufactured perfection.
The Hukamnama concludes with this deeply reflective thought. I cannot worship you, nor offer you flowers. Says Ravi Daas, what shall my condition be hereafter? There's this beautiful cozy surrender in admitting our human limitations here. It's not a cry of despair, it's a profound acceptance. By admitting we cannot achieve the impossible standard of material perfection, we actually open ourselves up to unconditional grace.
So I want to leave you with one final provocative question. We've seen through the lens of a 15th century spiritual master that the physical world is beautifully imperfect, and that trying to extract flawless offerings is just an illusion. The only true offering is your whole authentic self. So if you were to drop the heavy, exhausting burden of material perfection right now, how will you choose to authentically show up in your life today? Take that thought with you, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.